Brookstone was a chain of mall-based retail stores that opened in 1965 and closed in 2018. Pierre de Beaumont and his wife Mary began Brookstone in 1965 for $500. After learning accounting by correspondence, they began mailing catalogs to thousands of hobbyists. It was based in their Berkshire farmhouse, and they named the company after their farm. Pierre was known as a tinkerer, and Brookstone's start and initial product base was driven around the purpose of making hard-to-find and useful items/tools. Brookstone started out as a catalog company with local and long-distance catalog circulations that initially were introduced from a classified ad in a Popular Mechanics magazine in 1965. Ads from 1969 to 1970 issues of Popular Mechanics list items such as spring winder, a glass cutter, a rust remover, and a versatile positioner. The catalog was targeted at woodworkers, do-it-yourself hobbyists, and collectors, and it contained high-quality items that were both functional and fun. The emergence of this catalog into the public domain marked Brookstone Inc.'s foundation as a catalog marketer that would soon become known for its unique and useful items. Circulation of Brookstone's catalog gradually increased throughout the next couple of years. During that time, customers near the company's New Hampshire-based headquarters began stopping into the distribution center to acquire products on the spot, rather than waiting for shipment to their houses. The demand for unique products that Brookstone offered developed into a stronger consumer demand-based system that led to a need for specific Brookstone retail stores. It became quite clear that the demand for a retail store existed. Brookstone opened its first store in 1973 in Peterborough, New Hampshire. Due to the growing success of this store, Brookstone opened a few more retail stores in the New England area, but concentrated most of its efforts on the catalog sales, which accounted for 80% of the company's yearly revenue. Of the few stores that were opened, most were managed by Brookstone employees who were more proficient in selling material out of the catalog than in working effectively on the sales floor. Furthermore, much of the merchandise found in Brookstone's catalogs did not lend itself well to the store environment, in that it did not effectively capture any more customers than those who already received the catalog just happened to live nearby. Entering the 1980s, Brookstone decided that, for its stores to become more profitable, they would have to begin offering types of merchandise not available in the catalog. Broadening from the hard-to-find tools designation, the company's stores began featuring all sorts of interesting and ingenious products, most of which was exclusive to Brookstone. New products appeared in the areas of leisure, games, massage, travel, and audio. As the widened range of product offerings gained popularity, Brookstone started opening more stores, and the difference in sales figures between the catalog and the stores began to even out. The couple retired in 1980 and sold the company to the Quaker Oats Company. The company was still in a critical stage, however, in that it needed to boost revenues to cover its expansion expenses. Looking to reduce debt, Quaker announced in August of 1986 that they would sell off their specialty retailing group, which included Brookstone. The retail chain was purchased by an investment group including Greylock Management, Duncan Cook & Company, and Fidelity Ventures, as well as Brookstone Management, with the hope that taking on full financial responsibility would facilitate greater involvement in making the company more lucrative. Unfortunately, the company's stores still were not generating enough profits to warrant the money being put into their expansion, and thus Brookstone had trouble dealing with the debt incurred from the leveraged buyout. Although overall sales figures were increasing each year, actual income plummeted and the company began losing substantial amounts of money. For example, in 1987, the company posted record sales of $93 million, while its actual income was negative $9.7 million. The negative earnings trend continued until 1990 when the CEO began to renegotiate a deal with Brookstone's creditors that would help put the company back on a profitable path. He also researched the company's sales and started eliminating merchandise that was not selling well. The following year, Brookstone stores underwent a major remodeling project which focused on gaining more female customers and on cutting long-term costs. The store's dark mahogany decor was replaced with lighter veneer in an attempt to eliminate the men's clubhouse feeling within each location. Furthermore, adjustable shelving units were used in a manner that allowed for future change and flexibility, while also offering increased display space and a less crowded atmosphere for shoppers. These efforts helped Brookstone survive the worst retail sales year in the United States in 3 decades, and for the first time in years, the company achieved a positive income of $4.9 million from $104.6 million in 1991 sales. But Brookstone did not rest on that achievement, knowing that it still had to handle debt from the years of losses. In early 1992, the company drastically cut back its computer programming staff to save money after deciding to upgrade the computer system used for retail sales. The use of the new system helped the company save approximately $1 million annually and further separated the mail order and retail businesses. The new computer system was an important addition for Brookstone, which needed a means of keeping up with the frenzied 3-month period of booming sales surrounding each Christmas. Typically, the company was known to ride out a lull in sales for 9 months out of each year and then achieve almost the entire year's earnings when bombarded with holiday shoppers. In 1992, Brookstone began testing a new sales avenue when it opened 5 sales kiosks during the holiday season in shopping malls, where Brookstone stores were already located. The kiosks were freestanding sales booths that featured a limited selection of Brookstone merchandise. Designed to capture shoppers as they walked by in the mall, these kiosks opened on November 1st and operated until the day after Christmas. After 5 were tested in Brookstone's stronger markets and were found to be successful additions, the company increased the number in operation each year thereafter. That March, Brookstone entered the public arena again, selling shares of its stock for $10.50 each. After only 4 months, that figure had increased dramatically and shares were trading on the NASDAQ. Ironically, the successful recovery that Brookstone achieved was due mainly to its retail segment, which originally had been its source of its problems. But by 1993, the company was operating approximately 100 stores across the US, which were generating a huge 85% of the annual revenue. Its only remaining problem arose when it decided to circulate a new version of its catalog. In addition to the hard-to-find tools catalog, Brookstone started sending a catalog containing its retail items to areas of the country that were not served by a nearby store. Over the course of the 1990s, Brookstone moved away from selling tools and similar items and began to focus more on electronics. Because of this addition, the company began to experience a need for access to retail merchandise for the catalog segment, and vice versa. But the 2 computer tracking and distribution systems were almost completely incompatible. Another addition to Brookstone's customer service procedure came when it was announced that if an item was ever out of stock in a store location, the company would ship it directly to the customer from the distribution center at no cost. The company entered the new century operating approximately 150 stores in 32 different states and in Washington, D.C., as well as more than 100 sales kiosks each November and December. Catalog sales were solid as well, although accounting for only 15% of the company's total revenues, having grown from a catalog advertised as for sale in small print in the back of another magazine. In June of 2001, Mary de Beaumont passed away at the age of 87. By the mid-2000s, Brookstone stores were redesigned and remodeled with tile floors and track lighting. In 2011, founder Pierre de Beaumont passed away at the age of 95. In January 2014, Brookstone missed an interest payment to bondholders on their debt of $125 million from the original Osam Childs Temasek buyout. On April 3, 2014, Brookstone filed for bankruptcy as expected. In June of 2014, Brookstone was purchased by a Chinese investment firm, Sailing Capital, and a Chinese conglomerate called SunPower for more than $173 million. The company emerged from bankruptcy in July of 2014. In August of 2018, Brookstone filed for its second bankruptcy in 4 years, subsequently announcing the closure of all 101 storefronts in shopping malls. The airport stores and their website would remain unaffected and would stay in business. To this day, the company website is still up and running. Thank you for watching. If you like this content, and if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Thanks.